Today, red dirt music has become a blanket term to describe all non-mainstream country music. Red dirt in itself has become very popular. With the rise of music streaming platforms and artists like Wyatt Flores, Turnpike Troubadours, and Zach Bryan, all rising to fame in this new era of red dirt. But before all the streaming platforms, before all the popularity and fame, red dirt music was a movement here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. With legends like The Great Divide, the Red Dirt Rangers, and many more. But the band that really defined the red dirt movement for generations of songwriters is our guest today, Cross Canadian Ragweed. Thank you, fellas, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So we're super excited to do this episode here in Stillwater right before the shows, and I'm sure you guys are stoked for it as well. I'm sure, like, all the hype and everything, it's been really surreal.
Yeah, we spent about 9 hours on stage yesterday, off and on stage yesterday, getting ready we're doing sound check, and it was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
To see it all right, we've done walkthroughs and taken pictures and all this, but when everything was set up and the lights came on, that's when it really got serious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, by the way, this is our 150th episode. So we tried to time this out just perfect, and it worked out great. So a huge shout out to your guys' management and everything for helping us set this up. And of course, shout out to Iron Monk for letting us come in here and use the space. And you guys are doing a can with Iron Monk. Mm-hmm. You want to briefly touch on that real quick?
Oh, you mean these?
Perfect.
Our parents are so proud.
Yeah. You guys should have been hand models on QVC. Right.
I mean, man, it I don't really know what else to say. It's just really cool to.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I saw the Reckless Kelly beer up in Idaho. And I was like, oh man, I want some of that. We need some of that. But these guys have been wonderful to work with and easy to work with. You know? And the beer's good too.
Yeah. All you have to do is sell out 4 nights at Moonpickin Stadium and you get a can.
Right.
So, pretty easy, right? Pretty simple.
And then
Nice.
you too can have your own. A beer like this.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive right into it. My first question for you guys is, how did Cross Canadian Ragweed come to be? When you guys all met up, can you kind of walk us through when you first met up, the introductions with everybody?
Yeah, we grew up together in Yukon, Oklahoma, and kind of young high school parties, picking guitars and tailgates and stuff like that, and that evolved into me getting Cody to come over to my house because I was telling him I was a drummer, and he came over, and God, within like 2 weeks we formed a band. It just was one night, and then that we never missed a beat after that. You showed up with Grady.
Yeah. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I've never played with a band. I played with a Spotlight Opry band. Some dudes that, well, back then they were old, but now that I think about it, they were probably younger than we are now. And I'd played with those guys. I'd never been in an organic band, where we built it from the ground up. And it was Rags and I for a bit in the living room, and then Grady came over. And then Jeremy, he joined I want to say about a year. It's been 31 years ago, so the timeline's kind of fuzzy. But Jeremy was about a little under a year when he joined. And I remember Ragsdale's dad, once Plato came into the fold, he said, now you guys are a real band, and now you have to work and be as good as that guy.
So you guys go from Yukon and you guys make your way to Stillwater, right? Mm-hmm. So what was it like playing in Stillwater on the Strip in those early days?
It was rowdy, the first several months were just trying to get people to listen. And I did a lot of acoustic stuff at the Dog. And it wasn't for much more than just paying rent is what that was. But it also, I felt like the acoustic shows helped, people learn the songs. So then because a lot of those cover songs that I was playing on Tuesdays, we incorporated into our set. So I'd play all those songs on a Tuesday night. Then Friday night, Ragweed would come to town, and we would play all those songs electric. So, man, it was always a good time. You know, it was almost like Cheers. You know, you knew everybody in the room.
Yeah.
And you know who was going to fight. And Bradshaw. I knew it was going to. I don't know. It was. It's going to be. Go ahead.
Getting to some of those same people are here even now in this show, you know, like Waters and everybody.
It's going to be nice to look down and see, because I know a lot of the old Wormy Doggers are going to be in the pit.
Yeah.
Causing
ruckus.
Table zero, yeah.
Now, we've talked to several people that have been kind of around Stillwater around that time. Like we talked to Boland, and he was telling us that it's so different now, or it was so different then than it is now. You know, now it's hard to find so much live music, and back then, like every night, you could go find some live music out
Yeah,
there.
somebody was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhere there was at least an acoustic guitar or maybe a couple dudes singing. But there at least was that almost every night.
All American Rejects, you know, those dudes were playing
Yeah.
around the same time that we were. But we never got a chance to go hang because they were on the same mission that we were, you know, and it was two different crowds. I know it's a small town, but
Yeah.
All American Rejects crowd versus a Ragweed crowd are way different. So, I mean, there was always something going, you know, and then the concert hall opened, which is Outlaws now.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And they would bring in like Ian Moore, Little River Band, and just
Robert Earl.
Robert O'Keen, yeah, and just really just going from the Okies that played over at the Dog to the people that were influencing the Okies, like Robert Earl, influencing McClure. And Joe Ely came to town one time, and Gary P. Nunn, Todd Snyder, and Pat Green, and all that. Not that we were influenced by Pat Green. I don't want to put that on his shoulders. I'm kidding. Pat was a wonderful guy to us. Just like to give him shit. But and then it really just started circling from the Okies to the Texans, you know, and we swapped gigs with Coup de Grace. They wanted to play the Wormy Dog. We wanted to play the Golden Light. And that's really where that relationship started. Now, when it comes to live music here now, I haven't been here to hang out in years, so I don't know what it's like.
Was there a moment for you guys where it felt a little bigger than just a kind of a hometown band? What was that moment when you started playing some shows, or people started to recognize you, where you were like, okay, this is much bigger than we're thinking?
Anybody?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to say it was maybe whenever we started going into Tulsa.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Really?
We got a Willie Nelson gig in Cahoots in Oklahoma City. That was a good one. I still have the set list, our set list from that night, and it's actually in the frame with the Willie Nelson picture. That's really, and we were very excited in that picture. Willie's just high going. The rest of us are going. But that was a good night, and I remember looking down at that set list that night going, this is the first time that we've actually played 90% our songs. And there were people there to see us. I mean, Willie's going to have a crowd, but that one felt good to me, you know, because that's 5 minutes from Yukon. So I felt like we were starting to be taken seriously then. But Tulsa was a big one for us, you know.
Rose.
Yeah, the Blue Rose in Tulsa, Steamroller Blues in Tulsa, and just being a music town, you know, when people actually start to come out, it makes you feel like you're doing it right.
Yeah. What was one of your guys' favorite memories, and maybe this is different for each one of you, of like when you guys really started to get out and touring and being on the road?
I think one of the most important venues that we played would be, we played Waylon Jennings Memorial, and that was big.
Yeah.
For us just to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because he meant a lot to us.
Yeah.
And
I
would say that one's.
Yeah. And it was at the Ryman.
Yeah,
At
it was at the
Ryman.
Ryman.
Wow, very
That's
cool.
kind of a cool.
Wow, that's something that like is legendary too to be a part of. I'm sure the artist lineup was.
Well, we still are friends with Shooter, and you know we were on tour with him during the time that when his dad passed, and Man, it was, hey, we're doing a memorial at the Ryman for my dad. I want you guys to be there. You know, it wasn't a, can you? It's one of those, this is what's happening, you know, and make it happen.
Yeah.
You can't say no to that. Yeah. And in the front row is Tony Brown, who was our record label president a few years later, or maybe just a year later. Emmylou Harris was on the front row. And here we are, you know, everybody probably knows showers smell like cigarettes from that before. I mean, you know, we were Shooter's friends. I mean, that's what the guy introduced us as Shooter's friends. We were every bit of that. You know, we were road
playing for Wayland's friend.
Road dogs, you know. So, but that was a big one for us. Like Grady said, it. That's where the industry people recognized us.
Mm-hmm. We met Charlie Pride that night.
Yep.
Oh wow, really?
Robert Plant.
That was cool.
Charlie Pride talked for 30 minutes. I didn't understand one word he said, but it was cool. He was Charlie Pride.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys have something like an additional story maybe to toss out there? I mean, that one's pretty hard to top.
That was a pretty big one, really. I mean, after that, I don't know. Whenever we hit the road, our first like major tour with somebody, it was Johnny Lang, and that was an eye-opening experience for me. That was probably at the time the most professional band I'd ever seen, and it was we went up north like Maine and New England area, and it was during the winter, so it wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it seemed like that really did us a lot of good as far as exposure, and I thought.
Yeah.
But,
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think of any more?
I remember we got a chance to open for John Fogerty one time.
Cool.
And we went down right after we got off stage. We went down in the dressing room and opened a beer. And somebody knocked on the door, and it was me and Grady. And he said, "Hey, can I come in?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And he said, "I always wanted to meet the real CCR."
Yeah.
We laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
to add to that story, we had been given a cease and desist by Creedence Clearwater Revisited to quit using CCR. And we're like, man, when Fogerty comes calling, then we'll listen. But when it's revisited, I mean,
Yeah.
piss off, fellas. It's not happening. And then when he walked in and said that, like, whew, okay, well, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, today I saw something, people like saying like, oh, CCR, it's really like a revival. And like, I was like, I think people are missing the message. Like,
We've been listening to that for
I'm
30
sure.
years, you know.
I'm sure.
But he's cool with us, and he likes the music. And I did a gig with him about 5 years ago, and he remembered everybody having mustaches that day.
Right. Yeah.
Only one of the biggest idols in the world, and we all walk on stage with mustaches because we thought we'd be funny. Like, we're going to be the only band to play here with everybody with a mustache.
Didn't they give us an award? Like,
They did.
The place. Yeah.
They did. That's just the shit that we did back then.
Yeah.
Like, one person's like, let's all shave into mustaches. Okay, let's go.
How about some mohawks?
How about some mohawk?
I did bow out on the mohawk.
Yeah.
So when you guys parted ways and you were each doing your own kind of things, did you feel this gap of like, I miss that? Like, how long did it take to kind of feel that? And what was that like, having to deal with like going from being this group of almost brothers and then going to being away from each other?
I missed it. I missed it a lot. And there's always the very beginning of it where I kind of drank my feelings, but it was always missing, and I didn't want to do some of the tunes. For one, I was burned out because we played so much. That's nothing personal.
Yeah.
God, we played so much, and I wanted a whole batch of songs to play, and then it affected the shows for sure. And but there was always the stories. You can tell when somebody misses something because they start like, oh, this one time.
Yeah.
There's been a whole bunch of that one times in the last 15 years, but well, we're gonna make up for those lost 15 years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Grady's got a bar, and the original bar that we played in. In Yukon, it's Grady's 66. I'll let you talk.
Pub. Yeah, I had the pub there. I had it for 15 years. You guys been there.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Once or twice.
Every weekend he walks in, he's like, "These guys again sitting up in here."
Yeah, so we just, we love the live music.
Yeah.
We enjoy having it. So
Yeah. When did the idea?
Real quick, but off what you just said, do you have any estimate of how many shows you guys have played throughout the years?
I know how much we played in 1 year, and it was about 230.
Wow.
And that was double dips, triple dips.
Yeah.
Wow.
And those were the shows, not the time on the
I think
highway.
there was 1 year at least where I was at home, and I don't mean traveling, but I mean at the house for like a total of 60 days.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Gosh.
I know at
That's-
least
we
one
would
year.
shoot videos. We would,
Yeah.
do a lot of other business on the side. So
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know it's, our parents and then, our relatives and stuff are like, you guys don't really work. And like, man, that's fake.
Yeah.
It's fake information because we do work. And hell, even being gone from home is still work, in my opinion. But we work too much.
Yeah.
Way too much, which was part of the issue, But we're not going to do that this time. We're just going to play sold out bowl shows.
Yeah.
Let's get the ball in the hole every time, guys.
I think it's a great business plan, in my opinion. When did the idea to make a return come up?
I'll tell you from my perspective, my wife lost her dad, and we went to New York to get away. You guys know Josh Crutchmer.
Yeah.
We went to hang out with him. We went to see a metal show with our kids, and it was under Madison Square Garden at the Hulu. And I Googled how many people, because it was rolling through my brain. It's like, man, I sure would like to do that. So I Googled Madison Square, and it was 22,000 people. It's like, we could do that. If we did this right now and we did it right, we could do it. And our booking agent had been asking for a couple of years, and I just told him, I was like, I'm not quite ready to get there yet, and then when we were with the loss of her dad, that's when it got to me. It's like, man, we did some shit. We did some really cool things as a band and as people, and as friends and brothers and musicians and family, and we should probably try to do it again. And I have taken a lot of responsibility over not picking up the phone, and John said, whenever you're ready. And then we were sitting at the bar, and my wife went around the table going, goals. What's your goal? What's your goal? And it came to me, and she's like, are you crying? Like, I'm ready to call. I'm ready to do something. I still love what I do, with the Departed stuff, but God, it just didn't have the impact of this, and so once John and our accountant got to talking to Grady and Randy, it kicked off as a text message, and then the text message went into a phone call. Then it all started going really fast.
Oh.
Then Grady's kids band Slade, you guys know, with Smoking Oaks, they played with us in Davis, and that's really when I felt the hype starting,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's my perspective. Anyway, these guys got a different one, I'm sure.
That's when I got the phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
got to.
Was it?
All ears.
Was there any thought that had to be put into that, or was it like an immediate "let's do it"?
I think you said it. The gap's always been there,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and our kids always want to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and
It didn't take much thought.
Yeah.
No.
John.
Just let's hear what you got to say, and then I'm in by the end of that conversation.
Yeah, we sat down and had a nice dinner and just talked,
Yeah.
and it went smooth, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, feeding off that question, what was the reaction like for each of you when you saw the reaction that people were having? I mean, the internet went insane. People were losing their minds. You probably made just thousands of people's days, years, months. So what was that like for each of you, kind of looking out and seeing that?
I don't know. It was kind of unbelievable to me, you know. And then I saw more and more and more of it as far as the response was concerned, you know. And and then it turned into a show that turned into 4 shows. You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like, well, no pressure, guys.
Right.
We're gonna pull this off.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I think it was just like he said, pretty much just I didn't expect it to be like that. I knew I'd been hearing, man, if you guys ever got back together, this and that, you hear it all the time, but I had no idea that it would be like it turned out to be. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like got it. Just like they said, kind of unbelievable, and I mean, we kind of, you know, thought one might be cool, you know, or at least 3/4 full. Is what I thought, but I didn't see this coming.
I don't think any of us did. I thought half. We'll sell half the stadium, and that was being, that was me like really kind of overshooting it.
Yeah.
And when that first night sold out, I left the house just to kind of get something else in my brain, and I walked back in, and my wife and the booking agent are saying, "Okay, so it's a go for night 2." It's like, well, hang on, guys. What? And then they said, yeah, probably 3, probably 4. And Brian, our monitor guy on this run, he said, he goes, don't sell any more than 2. It's like, well, we're gonna do what we got to do, man. And he goes, well, you guys haven't played on stage together in 15 years, and it's like, well, we can. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about anxiety. I mean, we're gonna let the adrenaline take the wheel. You know, we're gonna be fine, long as we're not acting like we did back then. You know, with all the Jaeger and everything. And none of us are like that anymore. But I told Brian, I said, we won't sell more than 2. So then I saw Brian later that night, and I said, well, I got some good news. And he goes, you sold out night 2. It's like, we did. And I got some bad news. He goes, oh, you're doing 3 nights. It's like, no, man, we're doing 4. he went, son of a bitch. I could see him getting nervous, you know. But everybody's good now. You know, yesterday was really good for all of us. You know, we sat out there for several hours, you know, coming and going from this. Like, we took a good hour and a half, 2-hour break, you know, for dinner and everything. But getting to sit up there and live on that stage for a day. I will say this: when you walked out and saw it for the first time, I laughed my ass off because he just kind of parked it. He didn't go all the way out on stage. And the look on it, he was like,
Look at that.
like, come on.
I walked out there, and Randy was like checking his drums, and I walked up and I was like, you're gonna have to turn it.
So when you guys are out there playing in front of 180,000 people in Boone Pickens Stadium, what will you guys be thinking?
Don't shit your pants. Don't shit your pants. Don't shit his pants.
Yeah, now's your big chance, boys. I don't fuck this up.
Man, I don't know. If I think too much about it, then that anxiety takes over. Right. So, the old Willie Nelson trick of nerves. There's 2 tricks that I use still. Willie's trick is find one person. There's a whole bunch of other people out there, but there's one person. Just find that person. Even if you're not making complete eye contact, stare at that person, and that's going to make all the rest of these people much easier to deal with. And the other one is Merle Haggard. His exact quote was, think about fishing or what you like to do at home, and you'll never forget the words. You think about the words, you're fucked. And that's the truth. I mean, if you just really put it on autopilot, and because you guys know Wade Bowen, I hate to name drop him, but he was giving me shit about a teleprompter. He goes, I know you're going to have teleprompters. Like, I'm not. I can remember these songs. Now, I have a couple of pieces of paper with notes on them, but I don't know. It's the first practice. I'm sorry, I'm going long here, but the first practice we had, to me, was the first 30 minutes, I was like, we got this.
Yeah.
I mean, it really felt like we took 2 weeks off for Christmas.
Yeah.
Musically, that's what it, because we used to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and we'd come back, and like the first day was a little rusty. Then we'd fall back into it. And honestly, there was no rust that first day.
Yeah.
And we just,
Maybe a little tarnish, but no rust.
Nice. Buffed it right out.
Buffed it right out.
yeah,
There you go.
it felt good.
Busted out the flits.
So, I mean, there's tons of almost every artist we talk to mentions you guys in some form. What an inspiration you were. Do you view yourselves as that? I mean, do you think about the impact that you've had on all these other artists ever? I'm assuming not, but no. I mean, there's tons of people that we talk to that they mention like what a huge inspiration you guys were, and you made them get into playing music, or how do you view that?
It's appreciated, but it's odd. But when it comes to that, I think that it's really, if we inspired anybody to do anything, it's don't back down from what you are, I guess. Because we were always, we bucked the system a few hundred times with record labels and radio, and like radio saying, can you come over here and do this thing at the car dealership? Well, do you play our music? Well, we can't really. It's like, then no. I mean, we have to work with each other, and I think us being just strong-willed, and every single one of us is the kind of people that you're gonna tell us we can't do it, and we're gonna shake our head and agree with you, then fucking go ahead and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Use it for fuel.
I think we just did it our way, and I think that's what, like Co Wetzel said. He goes, you guys allowed us to go into country bars and play rock and roll. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, we didn't do it on purpose. We needed a job,
Yeah, it's flattering, but it's not like, I feel like we just did what we did because we loved it and appreciate all that, but we didn't. I don't see us as anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like enjoy that curse, music. It was always like that was kind of a running joke growing up. Wanting to play for a living. I enjoy that curse is what I heard a few times. But
Yeah.
not that it's a curse. But
Well, from us to you guys, congratulations on selling out 4 nights.
Thank you,
That's
man.
Awesome.
Thank
It's a huge accomplishment. And my final question, did you guys know about the video that we prepared, or was that able to be kept a secret? Did that slip out anywhere? Does anybody know about what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're
Okay.
talking about.
I love the confused looks on their faces.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
it's perfect.
So we've got we put together a little video for you here, and we could welcome anybody that wants to come in and watch it with them as well.
How about Randy on a cruise boat, Nick?
So we reached
I
out
got
to
a kid here. It does,
some of our friends that play and asked them kind of what you guys mean to them. And so we put this together, and we wanted to get a chance to show it to you, surprise you with it. And thank you to everybody that didn't spill the surprise.
No, we're in the dark.
Thank you.
What else are you guys keeping from
Yeah.
last one?
What's going on? This is Reagan Carter, and man, I'm so excited to see Cross Canadian Ragweed back in Stillwater.
Hey, what's going on? It's Brock and Aaron from Alltown. We're super pumped. Ragweed's coming back April to Stillwater. We're super excited to see him, and we just can't wait. Let's go.
Hey guys, Levi Walker here. I'm so excited that Ragweed is back together, and just like everyone else, I can't wait to see him in April.
What's up, y'all? It's Dylan Moss here. I, for one, am stoked that Ragweed's getting back together for a couple of shows here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, home of the Pokes. Go Pokes, baby. Hope you guys are just as excited as all of us are here, and we can't wait for the Boys from Oklahoma show, and we'll see y'all in April.
Hey y'all, it's Emily Hollingshed. I'm super excited to see Ragweed back together, and I cannot wait to watch them rock out in April.
Look, I'm happy for Ragweed for this long awaited and well-earned victory lap, and I'm happy for
Elon.
the fans, and I'm happy for artists like Dirks Bentley and Co Wetzel who have contributed to the lore that have allowed Ragweed to become these mythical figures. And I'm happy for what's become of Red Dirt since, and I'm looking forward to a new generation seeing exactly what made Ragweed so special.
Ragweed, it's good to see you back together. Glad you guys are coming to Stillwater, to the homeland for a few days. It's going to be a fun 4 days, and dragging everybody with you is super badass to have all the Red Dirt OGs in one place at one time. So thanks for inspiring everything that we do now and everybody else in Oklahoma. Cheers.
Hey guys, just wanted to tell you how proud I am of you, for all of us in the scene, for you putting it back together. The response has been beautiful, and I want to add my most heartfelt congratulations. To have you all making music again is only right and just in this universe. Ladies and gentlemen, Cross Canadian Ragweed is back. Love you guys. See you in April.
Hey y'all, William Clark Green right here on the Panhandlers Tour.
Bill.
Man, when we heard about CCR getting back, it was very, very cool. Huge fans of theirs growing up, huge influence. And actually Cody invited me to come to one of the shows, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to get to go watch them in Stillwater, Oklahoma and reunite. And I'm bringing one of my best childhood friends who is a humongous CCR fan, and he's going to scream like a girl. So we're very excited. Proud of those guys. Super cool. It's history in the making. 180,000 tickets. Crazy.
Aside from the fact that my wife gave us our firstborn son this year, Cross Canadian Ragweed getting back together is by far the best news of 2024. Love those guys, each and every one of them to death, and have been a fan for so long, and so incredibly excited for Cross Canadian.
Howdy folks, it's Caitlin Butts here. Last time CCR was still a band, I wasn't even born yet.
Whatever.
I'm really excited to see what all the fuss is all about. Maybe y'all will bring back Wormy Dog Saloon while you're at it. I'm just kidding. Love y'all, can't wait to see y'all back at it, and love ya.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. My sister drugged me out to a Cross Canadian Ragweed show when I was probably like 14 years old. And yeah, it scratched every itch I ever had for more rock in my country, and I could never pay him back for that. I wouldn't be playing music without Cross Canadian Ragweed, and I'm a super fan. I can't wait to be at Boys from Oklahoma and celebrate a great band that deserves all the glory. Long live Cross Canadian Ragweed. Go Pokes.
Hey fellas, so excited about the show, man. Do you guys know how much I love y'all?
Look at that shirt.
And it was time. We're glad it's happening. The world needs to remember how influential you dudes all were to all of us, to me, to the whole music scene. So can't wait for it. We'll see you then.
On behalf of the Great Divide, we wanted to say congratulations to Cross Canadian Ragweed for getting back together like we've done.
Our friends.
And also for filling the stadium for 4 nights in a row.
You're welcome.
Don't blow it. Proud of you fellas, we love you.
Love you guys.
What's up, Water and Hoe? It's Kill Wetzel here, and what impact has Cross Canadian made on me? Cross was always a sound for me. It was a sound of Red Dirt. Whenever I thought of Red Dirt music, I always looked at them as being, undeniably themselves, being raw and real and just kind of fuck everybody. We don't care what you think. This is us. And so I've taken that mentality to my music as well. So I have so much respect for Cross Canadian. I've got nothing but love for those guys. And to hear that they're getting back together, it's some wonderful news. But yeah, long live Cross Canadian Ragweed, man. We love you.
Hey y'all, Dirks here. I'd like to think I'm the world's biggest Cross Canadian Ragweed fan. So many stories I could tell, but the first one would be the first time I met the guys. We were planning starting a tour together, starting the tour off in Texas, I think at JT Floors, and Cody and Grady and Randy and Plato walked up on the bus with a big bottle of Jager. And I just laughed because I quit drinking Jägermeister like in freshman year of high school. It was like an 8th grade drink. It was over by then.
Sorry, Fred.
And they walked up with this big bottle and set on the table and said, "Welcome to the tour." And I kind of laughed, and we put it in the freezer. And it kind of slowly started dripping out because I'm not going to drink Jaeger. I mean, that was a long time ago. Well, about 3 shows in, I realized that was the main theme of the tour, was drinking Jaeger bombs, as a matter of fact. Luckily, this was before iPhones, before YouTube, before any of that stuff, because a lot of the shows would end when I ended. When I was just done, that's when the show ended. I'd be kind of dragged off stage, and we'd rinse and repeat and do the next day. So my first memories of really meeting Cody and all the guys was this big bottle of Jaeger plopping down on the counter of my bus, Old Goldie, which I still have. Still have the same bus, but the Jägermeister machines are no longer inside of it. But love the guys. So many stories, so many memories. I actually have hours and hours of VHS tapes that were shot back in 04, 05, 06 that I need to have someone go through and pull out the good stuff, because there's some good stuff in there. And but looking forward to making some new memories with the guys in April in Oklahoma. So love you guys.
Gosh, damn.
We're really grateful to see this finally happening. We knew it would happen eventually, but I've been seeing him for a long time with his solo band. But I'm really glad to see him with Ragweed again, because it's way more thunderous this time, and it's way more hype, I guess. And it's nice to see everyone living in nostalgia again.
I think it's awesome. I think it's crazy to see all the interaction and reactions on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. See them all back together on stage again. All of them smiling, just making everybody else smile.
I think it's awesome to see how happy they all are together, and how just how happy they are to be friends with each other again and just have that much fun as they used to.
I think it's really great because I've never seen it before. I mean, not that I remember. I was like 2 when they broke up, and I haven't seen my dad that excited in years. So I think it's great.
Also, we all got to meet.
Yeah,
that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Literally for the first time ever, like 4 months ago.
Hi guys, I'm Julia Ragsdale, and I'm super excited that the band's getting back together. I was really little when they were together, so I'm excited to see.
You're still little.
Now that I'm more grown up. Just my brother JC, he was always listening to them throughout the house, and I just constantly heard it, so I'm so excited. And I know he's going to have the best seat in the house. Bye.
Awesome. That was awesome, dude.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Boy, that got me. Yeah.
What you guys
I didn't know there's going to be crying today. Yeah.
Today, wait till tomorrow.
Dude, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah.